you will be the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last name.
My name is Russell PSC. Last name is spelled P as in Paul, I-S-C-I-O-T-T-A.
Where do you live?
Caldwell County, Missouri.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to address the commission. I appreciate and share the concerns of the environmental concerns of many of Grainbelt supporters, and personally agree that climate change is very serious. However, I am adamantly opposed to the Grainbelt project. It is not our only option. It is just one man's idea and his company's business plan to profit from this situation. Building a 780-mile massive transmission line across 3 states and thousands of acres of thousands of parcels of private productive farmland is the wrong approach. Excuse me. Grainbelt would not be the clean energy project the company promotes it as. Due to lack of interest and firm customers, Clean Line is now promoting the line to RTOs as a method to arbitrage power and transport it between regions where it will sell for higher prices. It now states the line would carry only 60% wind and 40% conventional. I'd also like to point out that Missouri currently produces, transports, and consumes wind energy, all without Grainbelt Express. Missouri currently has 458 megawatts of wind production capacity, 500 megawatts in construction, 300 megawatts proposed, and more in R&D. One viable alternative to Clean Line's plan would be to inject Kansas wind into the local grid rather than transporting most of the power to the North Atlantic states. Those states are adjacent to legendary offshore wind resources with an enormous capacity of 4,200 gigawatts.
Slow down. I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay, sorry. Those states are adjacent to legendary offshore wind resources with enormous wind capacity of 4,200 gigawatts, far more than enough to supply all of their electricity. However, it is not the Commission's mandate to set the national energy policy. The Commission must decide only if Grainbelt is necessary and if Missouri will benefit enough to justify the impact to landowners. After the hearing in Moberly last Thursday evening, an Amish man came up to me and told me that if the line were built, they will likely have to move. We can only imagine what a monumental task that would be for the Amish to relocate and rebuild an entire community and start all over again. Grainbelt is making a lot of unsubstantiated promises and projections, which, if they were feasible, I believe our public utilities and/or Associated Electric would have agreed to do business with them. Even if these promises would materialize, they are quite insignificant and when put into perspective. For instance, it claims it will drop 500 megawatts of power in MISO. Even if all 500 megawatts eventually do sell in Missouri, it would leave just 4% of Missouri's total electricity usage. Grainbelt is also promising a savings of $10 million to consumers. If spread over all households in Mudgemuck, it would equate to a savings of only $28.82 per customer per year, although with commercial customers factored in, it would be even less than that. The company is also boasting that the project would create 1,500 jobs. That equates to just 10,000ths of the total jobs in Missouri. And of course, most of those jobs would be temporary. When put into perspective, these numbers clearly demonstrate why the project would not be the economic boom for the state that Grainbelt and its supporters make it out to be. I appreciate that people need work, but it's not landowners' responsibility to create jobs. It is asking an awful lot to take a swath of land away from someone simply so they can get a temporary job to build something on it, something that would be an obstacle and an eyesore for generations to come. I've noticed that many of the businesses and union reps in support of the line recognize that Grainbelt is not a good deal for landowners and have stated that they feel compassion or sympathy for landowners that would sacrifice if the project were built. My father was a very ethical and good businessman. He taught me that a deal is not a good deal unless it's good for each party involved. So I strongly urge the Commission to deny the Grainbelt, as it rightfully did 17 months ago, because it is not needed, would not significantly benefit Missouri, and because it is not a good deal for landowners. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.